Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Welcome back, welcome if you're new. I'm Charlene, also known as Wonky Willems. Today I want to flip through half of my finished sketchbook of volume 2 of the Wonky Drawing Club. I am quite impressed how fast I'm going through these dollar store sketchbooks. I am feeling so free to just play and create in these. I think it's because they are so inexpensive. So if you feel like you're getting stuck and being too precious with your sketchbooks, I am a huge advocate for investing in a super duper cheap sketchbook that you can just scribble and play and explore. The paper does not have to be great. It's just to get your ideas out and have fun and relax and de-stress. So I'm going to go through the first half of this. There are a couple of pages that are not complete because I was using it for practice on a Skillshare class, and I am going to go back and still finish that class. So the couple of blank pages you will see are to go back and finish that class, hopefully very soon. So we'll start with the cover. These are hand-drawn stickers. I use mail packaging stickers from the post office, and I just use highlighters, color pencils, and then I put packing tape over the top. I am going to change how I protect these a little bit better in the future. I think I'm going to put like a clear jacket on them. These did, with the packing tape over the top, hold up a lot better than my volume 1 that had no packing tape over the top. So I feel like the more that I make these stickers, I'm getting better at figuring out ways to give them longevity. So on here, I just put a little thing like, if I get lost, you know, my mom's gonna freak out, so please call her. And then I'm covering this up because that's my phone number. And you may recognize this page. I had so much fun creating this page. I did do, I think, a short on YouTube with this, and I just used Tombow markers and made little blobs, and then went back and made cute little characters. But looking at this, it makes me want to do it again, so maybe I'll do it again tonight because I absolutely love doing this to fill up pages. Here I just have a list of prompts I came up with. I'm working in another sketchbook that is solely dedicated to neocolors, and these are kind of just little prompts to do that. I'm also trying to learn how to illustrate children's books. That is one of my dreams, to one day write and illustrate children's books. And this is from, it's called Explorers of the Wild, and I was going through and identifying all of the props in the book and seeing if I could draw those to improve my illustration skills. This is a page of me just getting out my ideas of tiers I want to do on Patreon. I do definitely want to get more serious about that, and I went through and kind of wrote down what people on Patreon that I absolutely love, what they're doing, to kind of see what works for them, to maybe adopt that to see if that would work for me. I do get a little discouraged doing Patreon because I have been doing it for almost 2 years and it has been very slow to grow anything. Here I was thinking about doing mermaid, and these were some possible prompts. I ended up not doing mermaid. I still have like sketches to finish for mermaid from last year, so I was like, let's just not add more to the to-do list. Again, here I was practicing background elements for children's books illustration. I definitely want to improve and develop my own style of how to do environments. So I'm kind of going through to see what other people do right now and then stylizing it in my own. Here I got some Holbein Artist color pencils. They are phenomenal. I love them so much. They blend so well. I want more of them, but they're kind of pricey, so that's gonna have to wait. So my amazing Prismacolors will do for the time being. Under here I have my wish list of which colors I want, so one day we will see. here I was practicing how to draw different kind of grasses and seeing what I liked, what I didn't like, what elements I wanted to add to give it texture. So this was a really fun experiment. I highly recommend doing this if you're interested in wanting to do backgrounds or like kind of like children's book illustration style. I did go ahead and also use different supplies. Here I use, this is all Tombows, this is all colored pencils, and then this is all Neocolor 1s and Neo 2s, and then this is kind of a combination of all three, just choosing little elements from the previous pages. As you can see, there's a couple that I really liked. Was this one here. I like how they all layered, and then I liked this one as well. Here I was just doodling. This is an illustration of Callie, one of my chihuahuas, and I wanted to use mainly only the Holbein color pencils, so that's what I was doing here, and just a little bird. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this on camera. I did it in pink. This was an idea that I had for an illustration of myself and how all of my creativity and characters and everything kind of just like pour out of my heart, and they're always with me. Again, this is more practice for different ways to illustrate backgrounds. Now here is where I get into using this to do some of my Skillshare classes. This is a series called Boot Camp by Christine Nishiyama. She has a lot of amazing Skillshare classes, and this was about dynamic gestures. This is also another class by Christine Nishiyama. This one is about drawing bodies and different body types. This one was really fun. I've done similar exercises in the past, but it was really fun to just dedicate pages and time to really understanding and learning the shapes that I like. As you can see, a common theme for me is if I like something, I just put little stars by it. And I have kind of been transitioning how I do bodies in the past to how I'm doing them now after taking this class. And I've been doing a lot with like these oval stacks, and this is the one that I've been using. Here again, this is that same class, and this is just playing with proportions of the eyes, the ears, the lips, and like where you place them. Same with the hands and the arms. Again, more arms, and then different like leg poses. This was such a great class. I would take this class again. It was so good. And then this was my final like project for that class, where we had to do different head heights with different proportions, different poses. And here is where that blank page is going to begin, because I did start another class by Christine Nishiyama, but I have not finished it yet. This one's going to be about feelings to faces and like kind of going through how to express emotion in your characters. So that's what this blank page is for, to come back and do that class. And this beautiful page, oh, it feels so nice. I did this with Neocolor 1s and Neocolor 2s. This is a Scribble Brigade session with Sophie McPike. I'm one of her patrons, and every month she does like a prompt thing that we do on her Patreon as well as on YouTube. And this is a continuation of that Scribble Brigade. And then here I'm just kind of playing with those Holbein color pencils. This is the very first thing that got me into being obsessed with drawing worms and gummy worms, and this was back in March, and we are now in June, and the worm/gummy worm obsession is still going strong. I even have a little clay gummy worm up here on my desk. I have even started making little gummy worms to put around my art room. Here I'm doing some color tests for my 100-piece project, which I'm sad to say has been put on the way back burner. I just haven't felt very like motivated to do those and play with those, so maybe if I revisit these color tests soon, I can, you know, get through a couple more of those, because we are almost halfway through the year and I think I've only completed 4 or 5 of them, so I really need to ramp that up to get to 100. Here again, I have some more little worms. These are the wig worms. I just put little hair on all of them like they wore wigs. I was having some kind of feels that day about having to go to work, so I just put that in here. Here I was playing with different types of color palettes, and hopefully you'll be able to see these pages. I know they're probably pretty light because I did them in pink. Here, these are some ideas for the 100-piece project. And then here I went through and made a whole like prompt list for my doodle calendar, which I still need to finish this month of the doodle calendar. I didn't finish drawing a lot of them. They're very detailed. They're very inspired by like children's illustration, and I want to go ahead and draw them all in here. They're very time-consuming illustrations, so I definitely want to revisit it. That's why I have this little marker here. This was another Scribble Brigade session. Then we were playing with gouache and watercolor. And then I just matched my color pencils to the gouache colors that I liked. This was also part of that same Scribble Brigade. And some cute little color palettes. And then I had some leftover paint from this, so I just started layering it over here with some flowers just to fill that page. Again, this is doing that same activity from the Scribble Brigade, just with different colors. And then here I have more of my doodle calendar prompts that I need to finish. These are more of them. That's why there's a little sticky here. And these are all of the prompts that I still need to do. The ones that are highlighted I finished, so I definitely have quite a bit to go. And then I was doing an illustration portfolio challenge with MacLeod. So these are just some notes from that. There's a lot of notes in this sketchbook, but they're all art related, so that's why I just put them in here, so it's like all central in one place. Otherwise, my entire desk ends up looking like this, and I have just papers everywhere, so I'm really trying to just dump it all into these inexpensive sketchbooks. This way I can just flip back through and read through that and use it when I need it. These are step-by-step how to do an artist style study. I have so many artists that I absolutely love, and I look at their work and I'm just like, oh my gosh, how do they get these ideas? How are they so amazing? How do I break this down to get my work to look so like cohesive and fun and fresh like theirs? So this is a step-by-step guide for myself to try to do that. And then I started using this guide, and one of the artists that I absolutely love is Puffing Muffin. So I was copying some of her illustrations just to kind of see how she uses shape and line and creates characters, and like how it's different from how I create characters. This one, I don't know if you can see it because I can barely see it and I'm sitting right in front of it. This is more Puffing Muffin characters that I was seeing how she draws those. And then this day I was not having a good day, and this is what I felt like my reality was like, and this is how I was dreaming for my reality to be like. And yeah, I like to have these kinds of sketches in my sketchbook because I know exactly what they mean. I know exactly how I was feeling, and so when I flip back through them, I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that. But yeah, that brings us halfway through volume 2 of the Wonky Drawing Club sketchbook. I will go ahead and flip the second half probably in 2 weeks, I think would be a good time. So until then, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful day. Goodbye.